Hey everyone, so this is Veronica Mars, season 1, episode 8, called Like a Virgin. So, this, like all the episodes you've seen before, there's the main plot, plot A, the main, and then like at least two other plots, plot B and C. So, um, the main plot deals with this student named Meg Manning who has this purity test posted for her or taken for her by someone else, and um, we get introduced to this, purity test when she and her other minor friends are at lunch one day, and this other one niner named Dick Casablancas is taking the test, and essentially the whole idea about the behind the purity test is to see what percentage angel you are versus what percentage, like I guess, uh, devil you are. The higher percentage you have, the more angel you are, and stuff like that. So, um, the next day after this whole purity test is uh, introduced to us, Veronica goes to her locker to get like a book out of her locker and all that, and Meg is talking to her boyfriend Cole, who has bought the purity test, because like the previous afternoon, Veronica found out that people could start buying the purity tests, to see what their friends and other students had gotten on this score or gotten on the test. So he bought the test, and he's like, well, everything that you've been saying and doing since the previous summer, when he went to Spain, explains like everything. Um, like like this test explains like everything of like why you've been saying and doing things since then. So um, when he leaves, Veronica offers to find out who posted the test for her. Um, So the first thing that she does is try to go to like the computer lab teacher to see if she can help her with figuring out who could have logged into her account or gotten into her account to take a test for her. And he's like, well, I'm just a gym teacher, so you're gonna have to, maybe you can ask this other student named Mac, who and she's played by Tina Majorino. Um, so Veronica finds her in a parking lot, and so Mac explains, every student has an email address, and um, with that email address, a password. So Veronica's like, well, the easy part is knowing the email address, because all the email addresses are the first and last names of the student at neptunehigh.org or something like that. And the hard part is finding out who would have had access to the password. Um, so Mac's like, well, the only people who would have known the password are the student and the IT guy. The IT guy's name is Rennie Dumoy, and he's only there at Neptune Tuesday and Friday mornings because Neptune shares him with all the other schools in the school district. So she eventually goes to see Rennie, sorry, to see if he can figure out like how and who got the Meg's password, by pretending to want the password for a friend's email, so that she can leave a birthday surprise on her friend's school page or account. So when that doesn't work, she eventually she eventually, let's see, she eventually, let's see, she and Mac eventually tried to find the website that posted the actual purity test online, because the original purity test was put inside a magazine that Meg's younger sister Lizzie subscribes to. Um, and when she checks the email, her when she tries to log into her account to check the email, her email address or email account that Max sent the website to, um, they find out that someone's logged in to her account in the journalism classroom. So they try to go there really quickly before that person leaves. But just as they're trying to get there, class is let out to go to the next class, and the person who was in the journalism room leaves. So what ends up happening is Veronica sees an outgoing email supposedly from her to Duncan, saying that she not only is still in love with him, but is uh, thinks about him constantly, and she contracted VD in while they're dating, and may have given it to him. So as she's kind of freaking out about this, an instant message from someone using the name Froggy pops up, and since they're this Froggy person is talking to who they believe is Veronica um, at school. She knows that this Froggy person can't be at that school because of the fact that um, the final bell for their next class just rang. So um, she's like, "Well, can I get another password?" The person's like, "You mean another password?" So she figures out who it is, follows this person to a lover's lane, and takes pictures while they're having sex and everything with someone. The next day at school, Veronica pulls a girl named Kimmy, one of Meg's friends, over to her locker, and he's like, "Well, look, I know you're the one who um, posted Meg's test. Tell me why you posted mine." And Kimmy's like, "Look, I didn't post your test. It was Pam. Pam posted your test because she hates you and the fact that Duncan is so hung up on you, and wants him to get his mind off of you, or she wants him to get his mind off of you." So she only posted Kimmy only posted um, Meg's test, and the reason why she did it was because Meg got everything: the cheerleading spot, the news anchor position, and all the star leads of the school plays. So Veronica records this confession and has it played on the morning news at school. Um, so that's really the um, main plot. There's two B plots. The first one is, well, there's like two B plots. One of them is that Wallace's mom, Alicia, is renting her, I guess you could call it a second house, like a kind of mini house on her property, to a guy named Jeremy. And Jeremy has been causing problems for Alicia because he is essentially being a problem tenant, and so like he comes into the main house when he's not supposed to be there. He leaves the gas stove on and running, filling the house up with gas. Um, and things like that. So, um, Alicia tries to go to the police event, after he leaves the gas stove on, but what ends up happening is Deputy Sachs, who is part of the police department, says that he can't do anything because, I mean, he hasn't, in a, I guess, legally done anything because he, I guess, in the eyes of law, he has a right to be in the house because he's paying rent to be there. Um, the only thing that she can really do is get a lawyer and have him evicted, which would take what sounds like at best 60 days to do. So that's 2 months worth of him still being there and continuing to cause problems and all that. So eventually Keith steps in and manages to get Jeremy to move out. So, and Alicia wasn't really all that happy and wanting him to help because she's been listening to everyone at work, which is like her job is at Kane Software. So she's been listening to everyone there who's been saying things about Keith and Veronica and all that. But she eventually goes to Mars Investigations, where Keith is at towards the end of the episode, to thank him for um, what he's done. And so the second B plot is, after seeing the crime scene photos of um, excuse me, of Lily's room the night she was murdered, and the video footage of Abel Kuntz, um, after he was arrested. She tries to go meet up with him, before he's executed. Um, and so far, he's declining to do that. So eventually, he accepts to, or she tries one more time. First, she tries one more time to contact him to see if he would be willing to talk to her by posing as this woman named, Ellen White, who is supposed to be a graduate student of criminology at San Diego State University. And she's claiming that this Ellen White is from his hometown in Virginia. So at the beginning of the episode, she poses, in a way so that she can, she poses in a way in front of a, like, white sheet, so that way she could take that picture of her, and post it on, another picture of, the welcome sign to his hometown, because she sends that picture, the Photoshop picture of her, plus an email to Abel Kuntz, um, to try to convince him one more time to talk with her, which seems to work because eventually she gets a phone call, saying that he's willing to meet with her the next day between 2 and 4 p.m. And so she goes to the jail, shows him the pictures of, um, that she has, and tries to convince him to, um, help her, or tries to convince him to let her help him. And he tries to trip her up with the wrong name of a festival supposedly in his hometown, but she's like, look, she pretty much is not falling for it, but, um, he lets it known that he knows she's really Veronica Mars, daughter of Leanne. But he's like, what he does is he tells her look, you're not the daughter of Leanne and Keith Mars. You're the daughter of Leanne and Jake Kane. Um, and so that causes her to become upset in a car and all that, and that's the end of the episode. So um, I'm not sure. I mean, there's probably like, considering this is still like the beginning of the season, like this is still kind of like the beginning of the first season, and they're trying to find, their footing and how everything um, is gonna stack up and be considered good or not. This is probably one of my more. This is probably more one of my favorite episodes. Um, um, One of them being one of my least favorite episodes is like one that I've already done a video on. Meet John Smith and um, is the like one of the only ones where I don't really like this season. I think let me see. The other one I think that I really didn't like so far is the Return of the Cane with the student election. But I mean, I think those are like the only two so far that I've really can remember that I didn't like. I think everything else is. I think every other episode I think I've liked overall. I think it was just because of the fact that like in those two episodes I just mentioned, they really have sort of tiny little um, details that kind of don't make sense to me and still don't really make sense to me. Um, and so I guess that's why I don't really care for them. Um, or the fact that I just feel like it's a weak episode. And I mean, uh, I mean, but this one is the probably one of the better episodes in my opinion, just because, like I said, they're like I said in previous videos. I mean, it's like they're giving little details of the case at the right moments instead of all at once and stuff like that. And I think the reason why I kind of like this one a lot too was because of the fact that you get the info about Veronica not being Keith's actual biological daughter. So, and you'll see this kind of see the consequences of Abel Kuntz making the statement for several episodes down the line, like, or further into the season, rather than just like one and done type of um like a one and done type of statement, and you figure out, you find out the information right away. um and it helps. I think this statement by Abel Kuntz helps. um it helps to kind of bring full circle every like the major mystery of Lily Kane's murder and all that. Um, so, I mean, I, I I guess that's really kind of why I like it a lot, because it helps with the overall story of the major mystery at play here. So, um, I mean, there's not really much else I think I can say without giving too much more away. Um, if I've given anything else out. And I'll see you guys next time.